This is Eagle News Canada. I am Kenny Aquino. Here are this week's top stories. Paraguayan judge authorized extradition of an ex-CONMEBOL president. Nicaragua's ex-vice president scoops Spain's Cervantes Prize. Flood in Greek towns kills at least 15. Protesters form a ribbon of lights in support of jailed Catalan activists. Now for the details. A Paraguayan judge authorized the extradition of the former president of South American Football Confederation, CONMEBOL, Nicolas Leos. Amy Plamenco with the details.
A Paraguayan judge authorized the extradition of the former president of the South American Football Confederation, CONMEBOL, Nicolas Leos, to the United States, where he faces bribery accusations in a corruption investigation of world football executives. According to Leos' lawyer, the decision by Judge Humberto Otazu will be appealed.
Nosotros vamos a apelar esta decisión porque no, y estamos de esto muy seguros, no procede la extradición al no existir lo que se denomina doble incriminación. ¿Qué dice el Tratado Internacional de Paraguay y Estados Unidos? Que para que proceda la extradición, los hechos que le atribuyen en Estados Unidos tienen que ser punibles también según la legislación paraguaya. En el caso de la acusación en Estados Unidos, si bien hay varios cargos que se le atribuyen, todos estos cargos reposan sobre el soborno privado. Es decir, es soborno privado y después lavado de dinero proveniente de soborno privado, asociación proveniente de lavado de soborno privado, etc. Entonces, si yo extraigo el soborno privado, cae todo. Entonces, el soborno privado no se castiga en Paraguay. Si no se castiga el soborno privado, tampoco se pueden castigar los demás delitos. Esto no lo dice Ricardo Preda solamente, lo dice incluso un informe de las Naciones Unidas del 2014 que justamente instan a Paraguay a tipificar el soborno privado bajo el riesgo de que si no lo encuadra dentro de nuestra legislación no se podría castigar ni el soborno privado ni el lavado de dinero proveniente del soborno privado.
Leos, 89, who has been under house arrest since mid-2015, is being investigated by the U.S. Justice Department, along with other leaders and executives accused of accepting bribes for broadcast rights and marketing. Leos' lawyer, Ricardo Preda, told journalists he would appeal the decision. Preda said he had not been notified by the court and argued his client should not be extradited because private bribery is not a punishable crime in Paraguay. Otazu said in an official document that a medical board, including a forensic officer of the judiciary and a doctor proposed by the defense, should report on Leo's health status before his extradition. Paraguay received the formal request for Leo's extradition in July 2015. According to Paraguayan laws, the former sports leader's age is not a barrier to extradition. Leos was in charge of CONMEBOL for 27 years until he resigned in 2013, blaming health reasons in the midst of an investigation by the FIFA Ethics Committee. He also was a member of the FIFA Executive Committee for more than a decade. Otazu's decision comes as the trial begins in New York for Juan Angel Naput, Leos' successor as president of CONMEBOL, the former president of the Peruvian Federation, Manuel Borga, and former head of the Confederation of Brazilian Football, Jose Maria Marin. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Amy Plamenco. I am one with 25.
Thank you, Amy. Nicaraguan author and former Vice President Sergio Ramirez won the 2017 Cervantes Prize. Thomas I. Likeness reports.
Nicaraguan author and former Vice President Sergio Ramirez won the 2017 Cervantes Prize, the highest literary honor for the Spanish-speaking world.
Estaba en la lista y cuando uno tenga una lista pues tiene la probabilidad de ganar, lo que podemos decir la lista corta. Y bueno, hoy recibí la llamada anunciándome el premio de parte del ministro de Educación y Cultura de España, diciéndome que en pocos minutos iba a ofrecer la conferencia de prensa y bueno, cambió la rutina de mi día, ¿no?
Ramirez has written more than 20 novels, including the acclaimed Margarita Esta Linda la Mar, or Margarita, How Beautiful the Sea in English. The annual prize is awarded by the Spanish government and includes a 125,000 euro, or approximately $174,000 US, cash payment.
Voy a recibir el premio en una ceremonia en la Universidad de Alcalá de Henares el 20 de julio, que es el 20 de abril del año próximo, que es el Día de Cervantes, el Día de la Lengua. Es una ceremonia en la que los reyes de España hacen entrega del premio al ganador en el Paraninfo de la Universidad de Alcalá, que es donde nació Cervantes. Yo tengo que decir un discurso en ese lugar. Y después hay una serie de agasajos y ceremonias que tienen que ver con el premio. Yo creo que el premio, si no me equivoco, está dotado con la suma de 125,000 euros.
Ramirez is well known among Nicaraguans. He was the country's vice president from 1985 to 1990 and presided over the National Council of Education after the end of the country's leftist revolution in 1979. The winner of the Cervantes Prize is decided by a jury of academics, former prize winners, and the media. The prize's purpose is to support Spanish literature across the world. I am Thomas I. Likeness, reporting for Eagle News. I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Thomas. Flood triggered by torrential rain hit 3 towns west of the Greek capital Athens early Wednesday, killing at least 15 and injuring nearly 40 others. Sabir Mufti with the details.
While bracing for another potential rainstorm in the coming 2 days, the affected towns of Mandra, Neopyramos, and Megara conducted relief work with the help of local government and volunteers on Thursday after a flood hit west of Athens, killing 15 and injuring more. Dozens of stores across the streets of Neopyramos suffered heavy losses when the flood came crashing down from the mountains.
The most quantity of the water came from the mountain. There was a lot of rain on the mountain, and here we suffer the results of the rain.
Irene, a stationery shop owner, said the flood came suddenly around 5 o'clock in the morning and turned her store upside down. Irene said she retrieved a table that was placed in front of her shop from the sea 300 meters away. Firefighters worked through the night to pump out the water from basements, while the volunteers distributed sandbags for residents in low-lying areas. Wednesday's flood is the first to occur on the west side of the peninsula of Attica in 18 years. Yet it came with a much heavier cost than the previous flood the region experienced in 1999. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Sabir Mufti, 1 with 25.
Protesters form a ribbon of lights in support of jailed Catalan activist Cat Joy with the details.
Hundreds of Catalan pro-independence supporters gathered in Sant Jaume Square in Barcelona to demand the release of 2 separatist activists held in prison on charges of sedition. The protesters holding lights formed the shape of a ribbon in front of Catalonia's regional government building to show their support for the jailed leaders of the 2 main grassroots independence groups.
Porque estoy aquí por una cosa muy simple. ¿Cómo le explicas a un niño quién tiene que ir a la cárcel? El que roba, el que estafa, el que mata. El que defiende unas ideas no tiene que estar en la cárcel. Por eso estoy aquí, para defender a gente que se ha arriesgado por nosotros, por las ideas que tenemos. No estamos acostumbrados a que políticos o gente que defiende ideas esté en la cárcel.
Estic aquí perquè vull que els presos polítics els lliberin, que no estiguin a la presó, que no tenen cap dret d'estar-hi.
Jordi Sanchez, leader of the Catalan National Assembly, ANC, and Òmnium Cultural's Jordi Cuixart, have been in custody since October 16 while Spanish authorities investigate their role in the pro-independence protest that last month trapped national police inside a Barcelona building and destroyed their vehicles. Catalonia's independence referendum, held on October 1st, has plunged Spain, the Eurozone's fourth biggest economy, into its worst constitutional crisis since its return to democracy in the 1970s. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Kat Joy, 1 with 25.
Coming up, Canada will deploy more women to peacekeeping missions. Canada Prime Minister impressed upon human rights, issues with the Duterte and Suu Kyi. Canada's Trudeau charms Manila as he orders fried chicken. Trudeau says Canada is committed to help to resolve Rohingya crisis. Eagle News Canada will be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Eagle News Canada. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau unveiled measures to increase the number of women deployed in UN peace operations around the world. Mika David with the details.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau unveiled measures to increase the number of women deployed in UN peace operations around the world. At a peacekeeping summit in Vancouver, Trudeau announced the launch of the LC Initiative on Women in Peace Operations that will provide incentives and assist UN missions in deploying more women in peacekeeping operations.
Canada intends to launch the LC Initiative on Women in Peace Operations. Named after World War II Canadian engineer and women's rights pioneer Elsie McGill, Canada will use the LC Initiative as an opportunity to work with the United Nations, other member states, and troop-contributing countries to develop and test new ways to recruit, train, and promote more women in UN peace operations, including in senior and leadership positions. For our part, Canada is working hard to increase the number of women who serve in our armed forces, and we are equally committed to increasing the number of women we deploy as a part of UN peace operations. Women bring a unique and valuable perspective to conflict resolution. They look beyond the interests of warring parties. They bring the wider community to the table, and they focus on root causes. Including women and girls in peace operations is a smart, practical pathway to lasting peace.
Reporting for Eagle News, I am Mika David, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Mika. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau raised the issue of human rights in the Philippines and Myanmar with leaders from both countries in a regional meeting. Ashley Sackmar with more.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on November 14 said he raised the issue of human rights in the Philippines and Myanmar with leaders from both countries in a regional meeting. Trudeau, who said Canada had a reputation for being frank in discussing issues like the rule of law and human rights, discussed extrajudicial killings during a conversation with Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, who was receptive to his comments.
It comes as no surprise when we do bring it up. This is something that is important to Canadians and it's important to the world, and I will always bring that up. The President was receptive to my comments, and we it was throughout a very cordial and positive exchange.
It is estimated thousands of Filipinos have been killed during Duterte's 16-month-old crackdown on illegal drugs.
As I mentioned to President Duterte, we're concerned with human rights, with the extrajudicial killings, impressed upon him the need for respect for the rule of law, and as always, offered Canada's support and help as a friend to help move forward on what is a real challenge. This is the way we engage with the world. This is the way we always will.
Trudeau also had an extended conversation with Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi about the plight of Rohingya Muslims, which he said was an issue of tremendous concern globally.
I had extended conversation with the State Councillor of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, about the plight of the Muslim refugees in Rakhine State. This is of tremendous concern to Canada and many other countries around the world.
More than 600,000 Rohingya have fled to Bangladesh since Myanmar's military started clearance operations in response to attacks by Rohingya militants in late August. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Ashley Sackmar, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Ashley. Canada's Trudeau charms Manila as he orders fried chicken. Ansel Morano reports.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau hopped from one table to the next, chatted with people, and posed for selfies at a fast food chain store in Manila, charming residents of the Philippines capital for the second time in 2 years. Trudeau, in Manila for a summit of regional leaders, dropped in at an outlet of fast food giant Jollibee Foods Corporation after a visit to a nearby women's clinic that advocates family planning, a touchy subject in the Philippines. He greeted nearly everyone in the store, shaking hands and exchanging hugs with fans after ordering fried chicken and a strawberry float.
It has been a privilege na makita natin yung President ng Canada kasi it is once in a lifetime. Tapos para makita niya rin kung ano yung sitwasyon natin dito.
During his last visit to Manila, Trudeau won a Twitter poll with the hashtag APEC that asked people to vote for the most attractive leader at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in 2015. Outside the store, hundreds of people screamed and shouted as Trudeau got into his car, waving placards saying, "Welcome to the Philippines." Reporting for Eagle News, I am Anne Salmerano, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Anne. Canada is ready to help resolve the Rohingya crisis in Myanmar's Rakhine State. Rachel Kilenteng reports.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Canada is ready to help to resolve the Rohingya crisis in Myanmar's Rakhine State during a summit meeting with Southeast Asian leaders. Trudeau's comment came on the same day Myanmar's army released a report denying all allegations of rape and killings by security forces in an operation that drove more than 600,000 Rohingya Muslims to flee to Bangladesh.
In light of events in Myanmar's Rakhine State, I've named a special envoy to the region. I've asked him to engage in diplomatic efforts and identify ways in which Canada can support the response to the situation and the plight of the Muslim minority. Canada will continue to support ASEAN's humanitarian and political efforts to find a sustainable and just solution to the ongoing crisis, and we will also continue to work with the governments of Myanmar and Bangladesh to allow for the safe return of displaced peoples.
Myanmar said the clearance operation was necessary for national security after Rohingya militants attacked 30 security posts and an army base in the state on August 25. A draft of the statement is to be issued after a meeting of Southeast Asian leaders made no mention of the flight of Rohingya from military operations in Myanmar's Rakhine State that the United Nations has described as ethnic cleansing, disappointing human rights groups who were hoping for a tough stand. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Rachel Kilentang, 1 with 25.
Coming up, Eat Vancouver brings world-class culinary experience to Canada. Eagle News Canada will be right back. Welcome back. This is Eagle News Canada. Archiro's Natividad takes us to one of Canada's most anticipated premium world-class culinary festival, Eat Vancouver.
We are here at the 15th annual Eat Vancouver Food and Cooking Festival, where chefs have collaborated together and have come from across North America in support of a great cause, Project Chef. I'm Archiro's Natividad. Come along as we check out this fantastic event.
So this is the 15th annual Eat Vancouver Festival, and this year we have 15 different events, and within the 15 events we have 37 chefs who have come all across Canada, and between Eat Harvest and Eat Pastry, these two events each had about 350 to about 400 attendees, and within each event we had between 15 to 18 chefs. And they all brought with a very unique, one-of-a-kind culinary creation to share with attendees.
A unique element to the Eat Vancouver Festival is the collaborative effort of different celebrated chefs in connecting with the community.
One of the main reasons that Eat Vancouver takes place here is actually because Vancouver has one of the highest collaborative synergy amongst chefs. They're so keen in meeting each and every person that comes to their table to taste their food and just chatting with them and sharing about their background. You know, sometimes they're even willing to share their recipes.
A region known for exemplary agriculture landscape, fantastic seafood,
and booming vegan following, the Vancouver culinary scene is regarded as one of the most dynamic and sensational food culture found today.
Vancouver has got this, like you said, it's a dynamic culture. First of all, you've got the farm-to-table aspect. You've got a bunch of chefs who really like to collaborate. What we're able to bring to the table are the guest chefs from across the country. That's pretty special. So the culture in Vancouver really enables that to happen.
And what is an event without a little local star power? We got to meet with Emma Chu, famously known as the Vancouver Foodie. With over 36,000 plus followers on Instagram and recently dubbed as the Taste Hong Kong Ambassador, this social media personality gives us insight on what makes the Vancouver culinary scene truly exceptional.
I would say we have the best ingredients in town. You know, we're by the waters, we have the mountains. There's no going wrong with what the quality of food we have, but also we're a growing city in terms of the chefs and their skill base. So people are constantly wanting to know, what can I do? How can I improve? And we get to be a part of that journey with them. So it's exciting here.
The heart of this event lies with the wonderful chefs who have worked together in sharing their passion for cooking to contribute to a larger significant purpose. Many of them shared not only their delectable creations, but also on what it means to be a part of this event.
Yeah, two different desserts. One a classic from the shop. It's a maple sugar financier with buckwheat and apple puree. And the other one is a small chou à la crème. There's a caramelized apple puree and the chantilly infused with a mushroom. So we use two kinds of mushroom.
Well, it's really exciting for us. I know for me, I first met Patrice, it was 8 or 9 years ago, the last time he was in Vancouver. Really inspiring for me to learn from him and then to have the opportunity to work beside him and develop some ideas together.
What makes this event extra special is its connection to Project Chef, a nonprofit organization that partners with the Vancouver School Board in educating children about wholesome food. In the day and age of fast food meals, Project Chef teaches children to make healthy food choices and to learn how to prepare nutritious meals to enrich their lives.
This is important because this is who we are. We've become so disconnected from where our food comes from. When 70% of families don't eat together anymore, that's shocking because the studies show when families eat together, families eat healthier, those children do better at school, there's less drug and alcohol abuse, and it all makes sense because it all comes down to communicating. You're sharing food, you're looking eye to eye and talking to people about your life, and that's what food does. It's just integral to our lives, and we need to reconnect children to that.
I love Project Chef. I've worked with them a little bit actually myself. Such a great organization. What they're doing for the community, teaching kids, bringing them back to food. I think it's something that's really important.
Giving back to our future generation to learn about food, growing food, cooking food, to understand how it is to grow it and cook it. It will change our future, and it's very important to do that.
Oh, it's amazing. Supporting Barb in every way or any way we can has always been near and dear to our hearts because, one, she's amazing, but what she has done to teach children to be in touch with food, to know where it comes from, it just opens them up to what food is and what food can be. So we're super, super keen to be involved.
It is incredible to see such amazing chef collaboration and engagement in the aim to support the Project Chef initiative. And what better way than to bring communities together, all for the love of food, in support of a great cause. Reporting from the Eat Vancouver Festival, I'm Archie Rosa Tividad, and I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Archie. Wow, everything looks delicious. That is Eagle News Canada. Join us next week for news that matters to you. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. I am Kenny Aquino. I am 1 with 25.